And we're back. I figured I'd hop on here, spit a quick flow to you. Not literally. I ain't rapping. We just gonna chop it up and have a quick conversation. So, first things first. The place where I was missing the bus to in my last YouTube short, you might have saw it. This is where I was trying to get to. Another side, hold on. It's just a little taste of it, but man, there's no place I'd rather be. So the topic for today is enlightenment. And these tools that I've mentioned as well on my channel, like ayahuasca, bufo, peyote, cambo, San Pedro. What is the goal of all these medicines that you may or may not know about, right? Because I didn't know about sacred medicine until about 11 months ago. Took my first trip driving across the country, went to Soul Quest. That wasn't the intention. I had to go through. Well, the initial journey to Florida was to see a cryptocurrency guy, millionaire, whatever you want to call him, successful, wealthy. And I was going to complete a very physical challenge, a very 30 days of hell, bench, squat, 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, ice baths every day. Not really a physical thing, but just to mentally callous you, right? On some David Goggins type stuff. So that fell out like the second day. And so here I am in Florida. I'm like, okay, well, I just drove 18 hours. I'm not about to just drive back. So I'm in Florida and I look on Craigslist and I'm praying to God. I'm doing, if y'all ever heard of Ho'oponopono, I'm like, please forgive me. Thank you. I'm doing my practices that have helped me in the past. And I find a job where I can work and where I can live at the same place. And so I take my car, my Kia, 2019 Kia, blessings, from Clearwater, what is it? Clearwater something. Not Clearwater Beach. This is Coral Springs, Florida. Broward County, from Coral Springs to Naples, Florida. So from the east to the west. Beautiful drive. I went through the Everglades. And now your boy is at a carnival, which is what the job was. It didn't say that on the description, with a bunch of people who pretty much no one there. There wasn't a single person there who didn't do crack or meth. So after staying there for a month, I saved up enough money. I was actually serving Santa Maria to the people there. And if you know what, you can look up what Santa Maria means. And if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't have made enough money. I was there maybe 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. I would have made $300 because they don't pay them enough. You know what I'm saying? You live for free. You do your drugs you live outside of society in a sense. So you work all day and you're severely underpaid, but you can support your habit, right? So I was in that and I was like, man, I got to get out of here. I can't keep traveling from city to city with this carnival. So I end up saving about $1,300. And I remember this place. I'm like, man, I was just watching Netflix. And there was a series called Unwell. And on that series was a show called Soul Quest, or on that series was a place called Soul Quest. It was a documentary on ayahuasca and how that's helping people with all different types of anxiety, depression, and all the benefits of ayahuasca, right? So I'm like, boom, I saved up enough money. Bang, it's meant to be. One day I just leave, right? I drive 3 hours from, I can't remember where I was. I was in West Palm, Florida. 3 hours to Orlando, really Alafaya, right outside of Orlando. And man, that was the best thing I could have done. Completely changed my life. I got set down a whole string of synchronicities I never would have thought would have happened. So now, that's your premise for this next conversation. Ayahuasca and bufo, peyote, all these sacred medicines. What's the purpose? Why are you doing it? You have some people who will look at the chemicals of the sacred medicine. So instead of looking at it like Niños Santos, sacred mushrooms, you look at it as shrooms or psilocybin mushrooms. Oh, psilocybin, let's extract this chemical out of the essence of the entirety of the plant or the medicine. You see what I'm saying? It's like taking 5-MeO-DMT out of bufo. You have so many other crucial compounds, entheogenic compounds in the medicine. Why just take one that you think is most potent, right? So I say that to say, what is the intention with us taking these medicines? Often what these medicines will do, and I can say from experience, is they'll allow for moments of what is called revelation. Revelations, it's in the Bible. It's the last book of the Bible, right? I'd like to look up the definition of revelation, but you revel, you're just completely, the you that you thought you were is not there. And you're in this moment of absolute infinity. Of I understand. I not understand. I know. I am. I know thyself and I am without words. Right? So imagine me just drinking ayahuasca and I come out of the experience. I'm like, yes, I get it. I am God. Everything is God because it is. Everything is love because it is. And then you're like, yeah. But then you look around slowly. And then maybe someone talks about their story, about their life, about the person. And you're like, oh, that reminds me of a story I had. There you are. You're back into the person. Now, it doesn't have to be that. But most people, rather than being present all the time, rather than being present and going to the past to contextually tell a story, to serve a purpose in the present or going into the future, it's, well, I live through stories and I'll go through the story to teach about the present moment. You see what I'm saying? So rather than living in the present, I live in a story. So you just got out of the most marvelous experience of your life, an enlightening experience, because that was a glimpse. It was a revelation. But as soon as we hear a story, for this example, back into the body we are, back into the character. Okay, so now what? Now, rather than being everything I'm seeing, I am now contracted back into this body. I am this character. I am Jivan. I am Darian. Now, this may have to happen before you get that consistent, unshakable peace, that streamline that you see Ramana Maharshi, Paramahansa Yogananda, all these sages and gurus that always pointed back to you, Jesus Christ, Buddha. It is and this is what the continuous enlightenment comes from. It is a continuous devotion to whatever your practice is every day. And it is continuous forgiveness if something along the lines of that devotion seemingly doesn't go in your preferred favor. So if I don't devote myself one day, well, I'm not going to quit for a week. I'm back the next day. I'm back at it. This is my devotion. This is my altar. Because I understand I am not this body. I understand that this goes beyond the physical. This goes beyond the sky. This goes beyond sight. This goes beyond our current frequency that we're vibing at and reverberating at right now. So the daily practice, one may catch themselves through these medicines, right? Back in the character, like you're telling yourself a story again. It's like, oh, well, this kind of sucks. And I don't know that I'm doing it. I don't know that I'm suffering through this story. And I don't even know that this happened because I heard someone else talk about their story and it reminded me of my story. So now here I am, this bundle of nerves, this bundle of old past thoughts. That's all a story is. Stories are funny, right? Stories can serve a good purpose, but not if they suffer, not if they cause you to suffer or other people, but you can't really help that. So the point being, now I won't go on too long here. I appreciate you if you stayed this far with me. Is ayahuasca and bufo can be excellent tools. Peyote, San Pedro, Niño Santos mushrooms can be excellent tools for experiencing that non-duality aspect of consciousness. Because that's truth. But if we don't do our devotion and our daily, I know you love this word, our daily discipline every day, we're going to catch ourselves in a perpetual state of, oh, I need to get back to the medicine. I need to get back to this. I need it. Rather than realizing, and you may know this conceptually, but rather than realizing, I am the medicine. This gives me permission to level up my frequency, to raise my frequency, to get back into that state of pure bliss, pure agave, right? There's no words for it. It's just I am, or the pure I. Enlightenment takes daily practice. It doesn't take, well, now for some, if you've gone through major suffering in your life, imagine pulling back a slingshot. You're in light, right? The slingshot is non-retracted, it's in light. As you pull the slingshot back, it gets darker and darker and darker, and you can keep pulling this shit back for 5,000 football fields. But when you let it, imagine when you let that shit go, imagine how far you are going to spring into the light. You pull that thing all the way back and you keep holding on, but when you finally let go, some people instantly, like Eckhart Tolle, for example, he was suffering. He couldn't live with himself. But then he had the realization, who is the I that can't live with myself? Is there two of me? And then at that moment, he got sent into a portal, this portal that he just completely died to himself, fell on the floor, woke up, looked around, everything was shiny, everything was absent of his past notions. Like that's not a tree, it just is. And that frequency stuck with Eckhart forever. So there are instances where that does happen. But for the majority, enlightenment or unshakable peace or samadhi, the kingdom of heaven is now. It's a constant realization every day of, okay, the present is where heaven is. I haven't really left heaven. I'm just dreaming that I have. The present is where enlightenment is. Now, if we're only present for ayahuasca, or if we're only present for bufo, and then in every ordinary moment, we're not present, we're just like, I just want to get back to that one state. Well, what are we doing? We're suffering. So I hope this helps clarify some things. And if it doesn't, so be it. I speak because I know my message will get to those who resonate with it. And ultimately, I know that there is no I, essentially. Don't get this body confused with this being that is coming through, with this awareness that is coming through. All right? That's a transmission for y'all for the day. I'm going to get back to what I got going on. Much love, much light, man. Till next time, see you in the next one.